Hey, everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and with me, as always, is Scribe. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
And we have a very perky SDA with us today. Say hi.
Hi.
That was the most
I'm
perky thing
purple.
you've said all day. All right, and you guys know the format by now. We're going to do news first. So what do we have on the news wire, Scribe?
Let's see. Why don't we start with Trump and taxes?
Yay!
Oh boy. So let's see.
I
Despite
love
no,
taxes.
don't you though?
Yeah.
You capitalist, you socialist, you whatever. Anyway, despite a positive public front, congressional Republicans are quietly voicing frustration that President Donald Trump's big tax announcement Wednesday emanated from a disjointed process and lacked crucial components necessary in the push to secure the first major tax reform in more than 30 years. Administration officials say the White House wanted to take the lead on this, rather than wait for the Hill, to garner headlines ahead of Trump's 100th day in office. It will be, quote, the biggest tax cut and largest tax reform in the history of this country, Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin said earlier Wednesday, describing the proposal to the Hill. House Speaker Paul Ryan put a positive spin on things during his own news conference Wednesday, noting that he saw the administration's announcement as a clear example that progress is being made and we're moving and getting on the same page. But what is the downside to this? Let's see. While GOP lawmakers and aides directly involved in the process acknowledge both publicly and privately they are happy the White House is kicking into gear, none of the key players were given a heads up before Trump announced he would be releasing his principles last week, according to multiple House and Senate GOP aides. We get that they want to make a big show of leading the way on this, but that's not how this is supposed to work, one aide told CNN, adding that discussions between House and Senate tax writers and their administrating counterparts had been ongoing, if still far from any concrete agreement or pathway forward. Okay, so Trump sort of dodged the usual pomp and circumstance and just came out running.
Yeah, basically, which shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, presidents do this all the time, especially with taxes and the budget. Even though it's all supposed to originate in the House, they give their ideas and put it out there.
Yeah, this also might put the House on task to say this is the policy, so work to make it fit, kind of thing, instead of like waiting to negotiate and dither.
Did you listen to the press conference today?
I did not know.
I was listening to it, and the part that really jumped out at me, because I actually went, holy shit, when it said, thank you, Noah. I just bought one of your stuff. Thank you. Just bought one of my shirts. I have a new one out, guys, if you haven't seen it.
Yay.
It's just one that says stop spreading stupid. They actually said they want to get the effective or the tax rate down from 35% to 15%.
Yeah, that's a bit drastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they say that they can cover the cost of that by getting rid of a bunch of exemptions, which technically, yeah, that could happen. I mean, we had Warren Buffett talking about how he pays less taxes than his secretary because we have loopholes and exceptions.
Right.
So in theory, it could be done, but holy shit, that's a big drop.
Well, is this the same plan that he was proposing on the campaign trail? I haven't followed his tax policy all that much.
Well, his on the campaign trail it was actually around 25%. Was what he was saying for the highest tax rate. So getting stuff down to 30%, is that what he meant? Everything down to 15%?
Thank you, Snowstorm.
The effective tax rate down to 15%.
Yeah, that's a lot lower than what he was saying on the...
Yeah, because I don't remember the study or whatever, but several outlets had taken the proposal that Clinton had made regarding taxes and Trump had made regarding taxes and found completely different reasons based on their approaches how they would be practically impossible to fulfill. So if he's proposing something even lower than what he was on the campaign trail, I don't know how he's going to pay for that.
Real quick, someone said something about tax exemptions for religion and that we should get rid of those. Technically, religious organizations, if they're nonprofits, that's why they're tax exempt. It's not because of religious stuff. It's because of the nonprofit status.
Could he be setting 15% as a shoot for the moon, hope for the mountains kind of thing?
Yeah, I think that might be it. That would be his style, for sure.
Again, I fall back on the fact that if you were to get rid of all the exemptions and hiding money and all of this shit, you could probably do 15%.
Yeah,
Because
it's just that getting rid of all those exemptions and, you know, it would be difficult because there are so many tax loopholes that are, if you know what you're doing or you at least have a good accountant, are so easy to take advantage of. So you'd have to drastically simplify the tax code and, you know, Lord knows if they're actually going to do that. I mean, they even had, they had what, 8 years to figure this out for healthcare.
yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to rewrite the tax code.
Mrs. Monkey's here being a jackass at the moment.
How so?
She's just being a pain in the butt. She's trying to grab my nipples. That's not cool.
No, grab his ass.
I'm sitting on my ass.
Well, you can stand up for your wife.
No, I couldn't. Stop trying to grab my nipples. It's not funny. Scribe thinks it's funny as hell.
I think it's funny too.
Excellent.
Hi, chat.
Hi,
SBA.
Mrs. Monkey.
Hi, Lady
Get off my
Monkey.
nipples. Okay, I can't stream like this. Go away.
Lady Monkey is a nipple thief.
She has this thing with trying to grab my nipples, and when I'm wearing a shirt, she misses all the time. I don't know why she thinks my nipples are where she thinks they are.
Because most nipples are not underneath somebody's armpit.
My nipples are not underneath my arm. Now I'm gonna have to take pictures and show everybody.
If you have nipples underneath your arm, those are called like lymph nodes. You might have a different problem.
Yeah. You
And
know,
besides
you look
which,
it on your computer and join.
shouldn't she know where your nipples are at this stage in your marriage?
Thank you, Skeptic Simba. You would think so, but she doesn't know anything about me.
I know he keeps his nipples under his arms.
I do. Get away from me. Go away.
That's not very nice or friendly.
I think Lady Monkey needs to take your place at the microphone tonight.
Oh my God, she's in a mood. What is it with the women tonight?
I'm in a good mood-ish.
Yeah, you got a nap in today.
I know, that's weird.
No, I'm not. I'm an evil demon.
Dark Ginger,
Yeah, that.
the sullen
I'm not letting go of my
seductress.
nipples till you sit down. I do not trust you.
What a negotiation tactic. I'm not letting go of my nipples until you sit down.
We should have trust in our marriage, but you've stuck your finger in my butt crack. You should see she is falling
Can
over
we just
laughing
do
about
this
that.
for the rest of the night and screw the stream?
Yes, Lady Monkey has a weird sense of humor that usually involves torturing me.
I can appreciate that kind of mentality.
So can I. That's the
I'm
fucked
sure
up
you
part.
can, Scribe.
Yeah.
I appreciate what she does because I would do the thing. Oh, thank you so much, Timothy, for Mrs. Monkey. Don't reward that. What you now see? This is a conundrum.
$20 for Mrs. Monkey. Uh-oh. I think she needs to sit down and then you can play with her nipples.
Oh, there you go.
That'd be great for the
Oh
stream.
no, I'm
You
not
make
allowed to
tons
touch
of
her
money
nipples.
that way.
That's mean.
Oh.
Anyhow, what the fuck were we talking about?
Taxes.
We were talking, taxes, growing up things, and then nipples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can move
And it
on
was
to
all
less.
downhill from there.
Well, real quick, it will be interesting
What?
to
That's
see
my
how.
natural speaking voice, Scribe.
What was your natural speaking voice?
I don't want to talk about
Did you
it.
just say I do declare?
I do declare.
I do
declare.
declare.
Oh man, fuck.
I have always relied on the kindness of strangers.
Knock it off. You're
I
from the
bet
West
you
Coast.
have.
You don't get to do that. Poser.
Oh, there's Mrs. There. You guys can tell her how much you liked her trying to get my nipples.
That was funny.
To everyone else, not for me. Real quick about Trump's plan. It'll be interesting to see because it does have to go through Congress, see what happens with it. I doubt we'll even get close to 20, much less 15, but
Yeah, it sounds more like I'm
It
going
is-
to put. Sorry.
no, it is possible. They would just have to be willing to cut out all the other shit, which would actually probably make most people that are getting those deductions pay a whole lot more.
I think it's more setting a goal that is likely impossible, but hoping they'll go as far as they can towards it, which will be something. Because if they do anything on tax reform that lowers it by anything even halfway significant, it's still an accomplishment. As far as
That's true.
So,
Or if
yeah, I
they
mean,
even simplify it the way that the Republicans have been promising for years.
Right.
Yes. Well, not just Republicans. Obama was talking about doing the same thing, simplifying it to the fact where you wouldn't even need an accountant anymore, which would be the ideal way to go.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, and then they're like, we were talking about this in my government class the other day. I was talking about it with another guy in my class who's actually pretty reasonable. And we were just talking about how if we manage to just simplify the way that we even do spending, so for example, not spending $600 per hammer, then we could cut taxes and not lower the effective spending, if that makes sense.
thank you, Snowstorm.
Like we'd be able to maintain these same, I mean, that would be a huge undertaking, but if you could just simplify everything and actually make it work and make it, what am I trying to say? More efficient, there we go. You could actually make it efficient, then you could lower taxes and even cut some programs and you'd be fine. And maybe even start paying back some of that fucking debt.
Yeah.
But the likelihood of us ever being able to do that is very low. Now, there's actually local elections in Georgia because one of the representatives from Georgia is now part of Trump's cabinet. And the Democratic candidate is promising that kind of thing, like, not paying $600 for a hammer. And then he's like, so then we can hike up taxes, like double them and have even more government programs. And I'm like, no, bad.
Thank you. Thoughts from the dryer?
That's not what are you doing? Like, I can make, no, stop it.
My dad was worked for the Naval Firefighting School in Virginia. And one of his jobs was to spend government money. And I remember him telling us about them having excess money. So what did they do? They bought a bunch of equipment they did not need, because if you don't spend it, you don't get it next year. We have a really, really, really weird system of spending. And the whole thing needs to be overhauled, and it'll probably never be done because there's too much money to be made and too much money to keep hidden.
Well, and that's just it. And part of it too, like we were talking about, is that because of how complicated it is and because of all the bullshit, that's in there, it keeps the bureaucracy employed.
Oh, yeah.
So why would they have any interest in getting rid of their own jobs? They don't.
The other thing I do want to talk about before we get off taxes here is I already saw it. Somebody saying that lowering taxes is taking money from people. That's not how it fucking works.
How is letting people keep their money taking money from people?
You'd have to ask somebody different than me. But this was the whole thing with the tax cuts for the rich. You can say it's tax cuts for the rich. I have no problem with that. But when you start saying it's giving money to the rich, you're just saying it wrong. You're letting them keep their money.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you're not entitled to anybody else's money, even if they're richer than you, believe it or not.
Oh, but we are nowadays.
Yeah, well, you're not.
Scribbles, what else you got?
Sorry, can I just real quick, whether or not, because I've heard the argument, oh, well, like if, like a lot of rich people get it inherited. Yeah, so what? Somebody worked for it at some point.
That was the other thing that they did bring up. The death tax will be gone if Trump's plan is put into place. They promised that it would be absolutely gone.
I would be okay with that.
I would have no problem with that at all.
Yeah, same.
Because that money's already been taxed. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
Scribbles.
1 second.
Stop playing around in chat.
Why?
Because
that's my job. It's my job not to pay attention.
All right.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so first you're like debutante Southern, and now you're just like gangster Southern.
Yeah.
I like when she goes street.
No, yeah, she's totally street. Right on the corner. Okay.
I am the streetest of the street.
Yeah, you're practically asphalt. Okay, anyway, moving on. Okay, in sort of corporate / sports news, ESPN cuts familiar faces in major layoff. ESPN is cutting a number of its most familiar faces as part of a larger layoff of 100 on-air personalities and writers.
Damn.
ESPN didn't release a full list of those let go, but among the cuts are former NFL quarterback and analyst Trent Dilfer, prominent NFL reporter Ed Werder, senior baseball writer Jason Stark, and host Jay Crawford, all of whom shared the news about themselves on Twitter. Most people affected by the job cuts, including television, radio, and online personalities, were informed of the decision Wednesday, and many of the layoffs took effect immediately. A source told CNN Money that ESPN also plans to cut a limited number of additional off-air employees. ESPN is shifting its focus towards digital as it faces cable subscriber losses and increased pressures on costs. The network has spent billions of dollars in recent years on rights deals with major sports leagues and college conferences. Bob Lay, who joined ESPN on its third day in 1979, paused during Outside the Lines, one of their shows, to make note of the layoffs. He encouraged viewers to have a good thought for each one of them and for their respective families. That's what I'm going to be doing, and I think they would appreciate that if you did the same. Let's see. Many of the people who were laid off were coming to the end of their contracts and did not want to accept large pay cuts, the source said. For others, ESPN offered to buy them out of their contracts. Let's see. Yeah, so ESPN having lots of problems.
Better Red mentioned it in there. They went very tabloid. They started getting into shit that had nothing to do with sports.
Yeah.
And they do pay some of their on-air talent a lot. I mean, I can't imagine they're paying a lot of their writers that much. Especially in this day and age.
I think they got really tabloid because they were trying to keep subscriptions and clickbait.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying, like, this is probably another one of the cogs in the machine of the mainstream media just holding on for dear life right now.
But they would be much better served if they stuck to sports.
Absolutely, I agree.
And they made a lot of mistakes with it actually kind of started with Oberman and him becoming a political commentator.
Yeah.
And
of course
they just made a lot of mistakes.
Of course, they let him go too. Of course, this is just one more. I think, and I was saying this in the run up to the election, and it happened quite literally just after Trump was elected, that the distinction between CNN and TMZ is as blurry as ever.
Oh yeah,
because clicks and instant gratification of headlines and everything else, that's where the money is, that's where the attention is, and so the major news networks, even ESPN, think that that's the way to go in order to keep up with what's popular. Except that it's a fool's bargain as far as I'm concerned, because it's essentially saying Gawker was right, and if anybody thinks Gawker was right in its business model, what happened to Gawker?
It did a dead.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised it's happening, because it seems like they're catching up to something that's already sort of been proven to be a failing idea. But I guess this is the consequence. And also between the fact that if people aren't paying for cable as much as anymore because they can just go on the intertubes to see stuff, you got to change your business model. And when you're that big and you've been around that long, yeah, you're gonna have to cut a bunch of corners to try to fit into the new the new model.
And it's not just that. I mean, you no longer even have to go to sports news. You can go to Twitter and find out who won the game.
Exactly.
And they should have stuck with highlights and sporting events. That's what their strength was. And again, yeah, the loss of cable is a big thing, but they could have made the move to online really easy, just with a streaming service.
Yeah. And I'm just waiting for ESPN to highlight curling and BattleBots.
The new BattleBots is awesome. You and I talked about this before. You sent me the link. That was so much better than the shit they used to do.
Oh yeah,
is such nerdses.
Yes, we are.
What kind of book were you recommending to me before the stream started?
Why do you ask?
Oh, I don't know. Just like calling us nerds. What was that book again?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, okay, okay.
No, it's fine.
No,
It's
no,
fine.
no.
I take it back.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah,
That was
but
easy.
I don't
Good.
think you do.
Yeah. Whoosh. All right.
No, it's not as nerdy as you guys are.
You can be nerd about a lot. You watched all of the Vampire Diaries,
And
I could ask you any trivia question and you could answer it, wouldn't you?
yeah, probably.
You're a nerd.
I'm not a nerd.
Okay. Anyway, I have a couple of funny stories. Okay, you want funny stories? I got a couple here.
Real quick,
yeah.
somebody in the chat said, sorry, that's Kara, I think. Kara? I watched my cousin yesterday, and we watched The Raining Monkey because she wanted to watch the monkey video. The cousin is 2.
This is why you need to start a children's channel, I swear to God.
I know, I gotta watch the language. I
You know,
don't
the
think I
MGTOWs are going to accuse you of being a pedophile.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, did you just laugh at me?
The guys beating off in the woods are not real good at...
Did I laugh at you?
Yeah.
Are we screaming?
Ouch.
Oh no! You should start a children's channel. Just like read silly stories with your monkey face up and making faces with your monkey face.
I could do that, and then some kid accidentally clicks on the wrong video.
Hey, yeah, well, that's what parental controls are for. It's up to the parents.
You could actually have that off restricted mode. Lucky.
Has anybody gone and checked to see how many gay channels still have all their videos blocked?
No,
because they just
no, the outrage died, so everybody was like, meh, because nobody really cared in the first place.
Follow up.
Let's see. So I got. So do you want a funny story or sort of a bittersweet love story to start off with?
Oh,
let's do the love story to make her vomit.
Okay. This is from BBC. An Illinois couple married for 69 years have died.
Sorry.
You're such a juvenile.
An Illinois couple married for 69 years have died within an hour of each other, family members tell U.S. media. Isaac Vatkin, 91, was holding the hand of his wife, Teresa, 89, as she succumbed to Alzheimer's disease on Saturday. Isaac died 40 minutes later. Family members said they took comfort in knowing they were together at the end. You didn't want to see them go, said grandson William Vatkin, but you couldn't ask for anything more. Their love for each other was so strong they simply could not live without each other, said Dada Clara Geskin at the couple's joint funeral. They were always in love, literally to the end, to the last second.
Well, not for the guy, because she was already crocodoodled.
Crocodoodled.
You know, I understand that I'm kind of a cynical guy, and I'm morbid and everything else, but sometimes SDA, you can just sort of piss in the swimming pool, and it kind of amazes me.
What?
Yeah,
this is
a completely sweet storybook story. And he was alive for another 40 minutes. I'll be like, oh, come on.
He was.
Yes,
I didn't do it.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
It's not my fault.
You're the destroyer of everything lovely.
Wow.
Okay, moving on.
I think that's a little harsh.
You're right. It was meant to be. You're about as
almost like
you're
you don't
mean
have
today.
Yeah, I was about to say you have no romance in you whatsoever, do you?
I do.
Oh yeah, tell me.
No, it's just all for fictional people.
Right. Okay. Well, let's see.
Wait. No, I need to explore that. So when it's real people, it makes you vomit, but it's okay in fiction.
Okay, I get it out of my system that way, so that I don't have to be gross in real life. I'm dead inside. We have to keep it that way.
Okay.
God forbid people know that I have a soul.
SDA, go wait in the car. Excellent. Well done, Captain Assassin. Okay, what's your funny story?
I got 2 funny stories. I got one from New York. I got one from Lansing, Michigan. Which would you prefer?
Let's do New York.
New York City. This is a brief one. McDonald's new dark gray uniforms prompt sci-fi comparisons. McDonald's new uniforms are prompting some teasing online, with comments saying the gray-toned shirts and aprons make employees look like they're part of a totalitarian regime. Among the comparisons being made on social media to an image of the new uniforms, characters from Star Wars and the Hunger Games, and even the North Korean government. The jokes came after McDonald's Corporation had said earlier that the uniforms would start appearing in April. The Oak Brook, Illinois-based company had said they were developed based on feedback from employees and customers, and that more than 70% of employees said they would be proud to wear the new uniforms. Yeah. So
Wouldn't it have been great if they released them on Hitler's birthday?
oh, that would have been hilarious. That would have been Kekistan all over the place. And then the Michigan story. This is strangely apropos of our chat's discussions over the last several days after we had certain special guests on our chat telling us how reality operates. Michigan bill would halt legal sex between cops and prostitutes. Police in Michigan would no longer be legally allowed. I didn't even know they could do this. Police in Michigan would no longer be legally allowed to have sex with prostitutes during undercover investigations under legislation making its way through the legislature. Yeah. Michigan is the last state left in the U.S. that gives police immunity from prosecution in such circumstances after Hawaii made a change in 2014. Republican State Senator Judy Emmons, who introduced the measure to repeal Michigan's law, said she doesn't believe officers are actually taking advantage of the law, but she wants it off the books now rather than waiting for it to become an issue. This is pretty significant when you're the only state left in the country who still makes allowances for undercover police to accommodate sexual intercourse, and finally we are to the point where we need to eradicate this law and get rid of it. She said that from what law enforcement tells her, no officer is trained in how to use or abuse the law. All right, boys, just want you to know there's a law that says you can fuck all the prostitutes you want so long as you're undercover. So if you're undercover, just be driving your own car tonight.
What was that, SDA?
Is that because it counts as undercover work?
Yes, or it's part of police operations or something. Let's see, Bridget Carr.
It's on there so that if they do end up, in a sexual encounter during a bust, that they're not in trouble for,
Right. I mean, if in the course of their police duties, in order to, obtain evidence or convict somebody of a crime or whatever else, they, without breaking their cover, have to have sex with somebody, then there you go. It's just like, well, I didn't do it because I wanted to. I had to maintain my cover in order to.
I did it for the people.
Kind of. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bridget Carr, director of the University of Michigan Human Trafficking Clinic, said she found a case in 2003 in Kalamazoo where a police officer engaged in sex with a prostitute while undercover. What the officer did was, quote, wrong but not illegal because the officer violated state policy but did not break state law. She supports Emmons' proposal. So that's basically all there is to the story.
So they need to change the law because of something that happened one time in 2003.
Well, and also that they're the only state left that has that thing to it. Whatever.
That's the problem with too many having full-time legislators. They have to find something to justify their existence. Yeah,
and it's a moral thing. It's a social issue. Yada yada yada. Whatever.
I say, fuck all the prostitutes you want, guys.
Yeah, especially you, MGTOW. Go ahead.
You guys think that prostitution should be legal?
I do.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think it would honestly be safer if we could just regulate it and call it a day.
Yeah, legalize it, regulate it. Have if you're going to act as a professional sex worker, you have to, just like with anybody doing something that involves health, you have to be registered. You have to go in for regular tests and so on and so on. I mean, these kind of things have been set up in other countries. The first one always comes to mind, of course, is like Denmark or something, or Las Vegas, that kind of deal.
Australia, it's legal.
Yeah,
it makes no sense to have it illegal. It is a perfectly legal act that you just can't charge money for. That is fucking retarded.
Right.
Yeah, it seems a little silly when you put it that, because it's not illegal to have sex, so why would it be?
Well, this is when I have this argument, I always bring this up because the thing that gets me is the whole abortion argument, because the main focus of the abortion argument is it's a woman's body. And while you can make that argument for abortion, there's also the fetus that kind of complicates that. When it comes to prostitution, it is literally just the woman's body. It's her making decisions about her own body. And we say no. And most feminists aren't out there. They want to free the nipple, but they don't want you to be able to charge for it. So they want free nipples.
I know someone else that wants free nipples.
Who's that? Miss
She's
Smoky.
sitting right behind you.
Actually, she's in front of me. I can see her.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Dun,
I
dun,
get it.
dun. Yeah,
I
it took
got
you that
the
long, huh?
joke.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Uh,
Nice.
let's
Mean
see.
today.
You wanted to talk about your video monkey, I believe.
Oh, sure, we can talk about my new
Yeah,
video.
and the Confederate flags.
Yeah, tell us about Steve Shives and a now defunct television show.
I was bored out of my mind trying to think of some video to do, and I remembered Steve Shives had the one up. I thought, fuck it, I'll go do that. His free speech one. And I get to his channel, and what do I see? 5 problems with the Dukes of Hazzard. I'm like,
Well, if you ain't doing the free speech one, I guess I have to.
well, you jump on that if you want to, but I had to go the other route, and because I could not believe this man is making a video about what's wrong with it. The Dukes of Hazzard. I looked all this up. Its last airing was on February 8th of 1985.
See, when I saw the video title of yours, I immediately thought, is this like a review of the movie from like 6 or 7 years ago? Because that's the only thing that made any sense in my brain. It's like, okay, you want to criticize the Johnny Knoxville movies? I get no, that show, no.
My favorite part of his video is he actually says in there that there's no racism.
Yes.
And then he goes and he says, and I meant to mention this in my video. This is one of those times I hate myself because I missed it. Because I actually thought of it at the time, but got distracted editing. He says there's no racism, largely because there's no black people there. So if there's no black people around, you can't be racist.
Right.
Okay.
By Steve Shives' standard.
Interesting.
That is fucking moronic.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm
So-
fairly certain most Klan rallies don't have black people hanging around.
So they're not racist.
So they're
Yeah.
not racist.
Steve Shives loves the KKK, confirmed.
You know,
He's
if we
fucking
drive
such a fucking asshole.
if we drive all of the other people out, then we can't be racist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he said
Ta-da.
he said in his video that that they were whitewashing the South because this is a rural community in Georgia and there's no black people.
Yeah, there's
There's
not.
a lot of rural communities all over the country with very few, if any, blacks.
Doesn't he know that all the black people live in the inner cities? Dumbass. What?
Well, where I live is a pretty rural community and it's all white, and you have to go about 40 miles one way. Maybe it's only 30 miles. I'm not real good with space and time. But you get to a rural black city,
Even
and it's not that black people were forced there. That's how the thing just kind of
in
settled.
where I live, there's like parts of town that are just like that's where the black people live. They all live in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, you get that in most places with most ethnicities. I mean, that's why we have
So
Chinatown.
there's like a place where you
York
don't
and-
go because you're going to get shot, and everywhere else is safe because that's where all the white people are.
Yay!
I didn't do it.
Oh, God.
It's not my fault. They need to stop shooting each other. What?
Anyhow, and he does bring his biggest problem with it, if you actually watch the whole thing, is just he hates the car. He hates the
He
General Lee
hates the
because
car.
it
Is that
has-
because he knows that he can never drive a car like that?
No, because it's the most racist thing ever.
Your balls must have this much testosterone to ride.
Yes.
He just doesn't fit the.
He
Poor Stevie.
he has a real problem with the car, and he actually at one point blames the Dukes of Hazzard for accidentally helping to push what would be known as the Reagan Revolution. People being anti-government, because in the show the government was corrupt and the Dukes were always fighting them and winning, which apparently you're not supposed to do when you fight you're supposed to
Wait,
fight the law, and the law doesn't win.
Doesn't that mean the Dukes are Antifa?
Basically,
dun,
yes.
dun.
my god!
They're doing it in self-defense.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was just such a fucking retarded thing. Not just that he made this video, but the stuff he said in it made it even worse. Yeah, it's not racist, but it's still racist. Like, no, Steve,
He's
that's not how
he's
it works.
really, really digging for content now. He must be. I mean, if he's going that far into that, it's like I don't follow Steve Shives. I don't know what other videos he's done lately of like pertinent stuff, but is that just he's done everything else and now he's got to reach back into the 1980s to try to find something to complain about?
Somebody pointed out he's bitching about a show that ended before he was born.
Yeah. Oh shit! How old is Steve Shives? I don't even know. How old is he?
I don't know if that's absolutely
Oh,
true.
okay. Yeah.
He's late 20s, early 30s ish.
Oh my god, that would be
looks
funny.
older than me though.
That'd be funny. A show he's never actually been there to see live, so to speak.
Not like 40?
No, Steve's
Oh,
not that
he
old.
looks like crap.
He really does.
Well, you live that way and being drained of your life force by.
He does
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
If you look at his older videos, and compare it to now, he's got these huge bags under his eyes and everything. He looks sick.
Did you guys talk about that shit that guys are now taking condoms off secretly during sex?
I didn't know about that. Mrs. Monkey wants to know if we talked about guys taking off their condoms secretly during sex.
Yeah.
No,
Okay. Well, I mean, it's not like I have never heard of that not happening, but what's the
she read
story?
an article earlier where it's
Yeah.
comparing that to rape.
Well, it's certainly a stupid thing to do.
well, it
It
actually
is.
there is an argument that it's somewhat like rape because you're consenting to sex with a condom, but
Mhm.
you're not. And given the fact that without a condom, bad things can happen, like you get pregnant, you get a disease, whatever.
Mhm.
Then yeah, people are. It's a type of sexual assault. I know that for sure, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, what about when women put holes in condoms? Because that's been going on for a long time.
Well,
Well-
I think that should count as a type of sexual assault too.
If you can prove it.
Yeah, if you can prove it. But
Yeah.
obviously, it would be a lot easier to prove that a guy took a condom off during sex. But
Maybe it slipped off.
Yeah.
Maybe there's too much lube.
It is a shitty thing to do if it can be proven.
Absolutely.
It's sexual intercourse without consent. Effectively, once you take the condom
Yeah.
off, you're changing the equation completely. Especially if
or like you guys said, if you poke a hole in a condom, whatever. If you lie to somebody about the conditions under which you are having sex, whatever they may be, whether you're lying, whether you take the condom off, lie about whether or not you're on birth control, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, you're.
See, that's why I advocate not even using a condom, folks.
just knock her
Just
out.
kidding. Just kidding. Keep a condom on unless you're like married and want kids.
All right.
Or because otherwise you're going to get an itch you weren't planning on.
Ugh. All right.
Nobody wants a drip.
All right. Well, moving on from that,
Ew, monkey.
I don't know how to
What?
move on from that one. SDA.
Well, anyway, I wasn't
Wait,
quite
no,
done
no, no, no.
talking
He was about
my-
to talk about me. Stop it.
Shh, shh,
Yes.
shh. I was not quite done talking about Steve Shives when Mrs. Monkey jumped in, and you're not good. See, she gets to interrupt me because she's her.
Wait, I thought you were like doing SDA on the side.
No,
No,
she's
that's
my
your job.
internet wife.
Oh, well, that's true.
You guys do the sex.
I'm washing the plunger now, dear.
Ooh, there's a good question. What if she wants a baby and he secretly puts a condom on?
No harm, no foul.
But you by your rule of changing the equation,
No, if you if
No.
you have safer sex, no.
Yeah, intercourse
Why
is
is
one
that
thing.
different?
The guarantee of pregnancy is not. That's not a sexual act. The guarantee of pregnancy.
I mean,
I
I think
don't
that
see the
maybe better
difference in the
communication.
Well, okay. So what would you say? Like, okay, so she says, "I want to get pregnant and have a baby," and he says, "Okay," and then he puts on a condom without her noticing. He's broken a verbal contract.
well, the conditions for sex have changed.
yeah, but now it's safer.
her safety is her safety is not in danger in the process.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
no
So then
harm.
it's not actually about whether or not the conditions change. It's about her safety.
Well, no, I think it's about everybody's safety. So
Yeah, it's about bodily
Um,
safety. If the agreement is that I'm going to only use toys on you, but then I slip my cock inside of you, without you knowing, then I have changed the rules of your bodily safety. By putting on a condom, I am not threatening your bodily safety. I may have lied to you that I was going to knock you up, but lying to you about knocking you up is not a crime.
Well, knocking you up isn't a crime.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. It's like if you like, let's say somebody's like, you should drug me, and you're like, all right, and then you just stick sugar in their drink instead of drugging them, then that is what it is. Whereas if somebody's like, whereas if somebody doesn't agree to be drugged and then you drug them, that's bad. I mean, you shouldn't drug people anyway, but that's kind of an analogy that makes a little bit of sense in my head. Like, I don't know. Because you're not doing anything that puts the person in danger.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I'm looking at the argument of changing the equation, and I do agree that I agree with you guys that if you take off a condom, then you've changed it in a way that does change what's going on. I mean, the actual act is still the same. But if that's the thing, if you change anything, then that becomes
Okay,
an
well then
issue.
let's just, then you're right. That's kind of a hole in the argument. Then I think all you need to do is adjust the argument and just say, if you change the equation, that makes it more dangerous to the parties involved.
Okay, that I could agree with. Okay, I can go with that.
So that's because you're right on a technicality, annoying semantics level. You're correct.
Fuck you.
No, that's Scribe's job. We just agreed on that.
I need logic in my life. I can't help it.
No, it's fine because you're right. It is a shortcoming in the way that I worded that.
What else were we talking about?
We were talking about Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, but I think she effectively killed that with bringing
And then
up.
Scribe was going to ask me something, and then
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Scribe. What were you going to ask her?
I was going to ask SDA what video she's working on, or if she wanted to talk about her most recent video, because they might as well.
Well, my most recent video was the one that I put up on my Unplugged channel about writing male characters, which we've talked about.
That's true. Do you have an upcoming one that you would give a sneak preview to?
Well, I'm gonna do the video. I'm gonna do a video on Steve Shives' free speech video, but I'm also gonna do a vlog for my Unplugged channel for when we get the puppy.
Oh.
And I ordered a bark box, which is like it's like a loot crate but for dogs. And so I'm gonna
loot crate for dogs.
Yeah, that you get like toys and treats in it. So I'm gonna do a thing for that.
Are you gonna do an unboxing?
Yeah, and it's not. And stop it. Condescending.
Have you guys
prick.
seen the loot crates for periods?
What?
No.
Yeah, you can get they send you a box once a month, and it has shit
Oh,
like chocolate
no.
in it, and
No.
true story.
Perfect. That's
I know
perfect.
somebody who gets one.
That's perfect. Oh God. Oh, how simple.
So, but I'm gonna put the link in there because if people order them through that link, that vanity link, I'm not sponsored, but I will get more free bark boxes. So.
Bark box.
Hey, caramba.
What?
No, it's not you. It's just like, novelty delivery things. It's just interesting now.
I like it. It's cute. I'm excited. Let me be excited about having a puppy, okay? Stop.
Is there
You fun sucker?
Is there a
fun sucker? I think I knew her in high school.
Is there a BDSM box?
I bet there is.
And if
there's not,
like
Does it have a penguin collar?
Every month you get like a little mini flogger and maybe like a little bottle of lube or something, or something.
You would get
toy.
extra stuff.
Yeah,
Different stuff every.
Let me see if there isn't. Maybe I've found a gold mine.
Yeah, if there's not one, you could make a killing.
Oh, I'd make maybe not a killing, unless you consider le petit mort, the little death.
Okay, there are people in chat encouraging my wife to sneak attack my nipples. Stop it.
Ah, dang it! The kink crate. Shit, it already exists.
Oh, see, there you go.
It's the kinkcult.com. Kink Crate, a monthly kinky subscription box. I am so excited to launch Kink Crate, a monthly subscription box filled with lingerie, BDSM toys, lubricant, vibrators, and so much more.
Vibrators.
Each month there will be a theme, and inside each box there are 4 to 6 items, full-sized items and samples, along with a Kink Cult sticker. Each box is $40 plus $7 to ship it domestically.
Holy shit.
That's expensive.
There is a discount if you subscribe. 3-month subscription is $35 a month. 6-month subscription is $30 a month, etc. Let's take a peek at the first ever Kink Crate. When was this posted?
Danica, I thought we were friends. What the hell?
Oh, the end of March 2016. So maybe it didn't take off because they haven't posted anything else about it since.
Danica's telling my wife to electrocute my nipples.
Oh my god. I don't think Monkey's into that kind of stuff.
So you'll want to get a violet wand and practice first, is all I'll say.
No, I want to leave my nipples the hell alone.
Are the nipples like the monkey butt?
No, they're not. They're very sensitive.
Oh,
Very sensitive.
that's so nice to know.
They cry a lot.
She milks you?
Gross.
No, it just happens.
Oh.
I don't lactate. I promise.
Oh God. Okay, let's stop. Let's just stop.
What's wrong with the dude lactating?
I was, anything with nipples can make milk. I have nipples. Can you milk me?
Can you milk me, Greg?
Can you milk me, Greg? Meet the fuckers. Oh God.
I think DeFranco did do. Captain Assassin asked if DeFranco did a story about the blowjob robot.
The blowjob robot.
He did. Have you seen it?
No,
I haven't.
The blowjob robot.
You gotta look it up. It's shaped like a woman on her knees, actually kind of on all fours.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Her head just bobs up and down.
That's
And you can
Eat.
you can adjust her so that she fits just right. And for me, it's the same. It's the same problem I have with any male masturbation toy. How can you make sure you get it clean?
Is the adjustment like the blood pressure bag they put on your arm? We kind of like pump it up to its.
Oh, I don't know how the mouth works. This is talking about just adjusting her head and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
I mean, you could just get a girlfriend.
Peter says he's seen it and already ordered one.
Yeah. It's pedal powered.
It is, yes.
Oh my!
Pedal powered? Are you serious?
Oh,
No,
so
look,
I
you
can
gotta
lose
look it up.
weight while I'm getting sucked off. Oh boy!
Lose weight while getting sucked off. That should be
That's the tagline. Yeah.
tagline.
Yeah.
Oh my God! For those of you who would like to donate to the Ranting Monkey, there's a $sign in the lower left-hand corner.
Yeah,
of
help
your,
him get a blowjob machine.
That's his wife.
If you give me
Oops,
enough money,
whoops.
it could be.
Better Red says, I have news, so I'm waiting with bated breath to see what Reds has to say to us.
I'm sure.
Does anybody know how much the blowjob robot is? I didn't see a price. I wasn't looking for a price. I saw a news story. So.
You have this thing called Google.
I have a thing called chat.
Oh.
Yeah, Scribe, we use our chat. You should. know
No, we don't use our chat. We engage our chat.
So Red has sent us a story. I'm not sure if this is a true story or if it's completely fake, but it is.
It probably is.
I'm guessing since the website is called viralstupid.com, it probably is fake. Any case, the story claims, and I underscore the word claims, according to a recent law passed in South Africa, all HIV positive people will be marked near their genitals by year end. They'll be marked with an HIV tattoo that will reflect their identity. President Zuma signed a bill that seems to be the biggest step in the history of time. Look at this, is so badly written. The mark is to protect those who can't say no to sex. I mean, if you can't read between the lines, you can't read between the legs, because that is where the status will be tattooed. Yeah, okay.
Thank you,
sounds
Peter.
fake.
Yeah, that sounds a little
Blowjob
fake.
robot deposit.
Sounds a little fake.
Now, I got in trouble many years ago because I said we could stop the AIDS
For
epidemic
what?
if people with AIDS would just stop spreading it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of the Scarlet Letter thing here, and I realize that's a fake story. But don't you think that would be something that would be helpful for people to be able to see?
Well, it reminds me of that if you ever saw, I don't know if it happened in the remake, but in the original Dragon Tattoo movie, she pins down this guy that's been like molesting her for a while and like tattoos on his chest, pedophile or rapist or something, where like right in his lower stomach where it'll always be, and so he can never get rid of it. And I always thought that was like a very particularly interesting revenge scheme, but yeah, if you've been diagnosed with HIV, and I don't know, like if you have some kind of pattern of spreading it, do you then get a punishment by being marked for anyone to know?
Well,
That's the moral
HIV is
hypothetical question. Hypothetical question.
no, I understand that. HIV is not the deadly disease it once was, at least here in the States, in the Western world. The medicines they have now. Back in the 80s, you got AIDS, you were dead in years. And like Magic Johnson's had it since the 80s. So,
but you could afford the treatments.
yeah. But it's gotten more affordable for most people. And so it's not the problem that it is in Africa right now. But I don't know, with a disease like AIDS that can literally kill you, spreading it, I don't see how that's any different than shooting somebody, other than letting the death be a lot slower
and more
Right.
painful.
Yeah. So yeah, people who knowingly spread AIDS, I have no problem with them being in prison. But I'm torn on the whole idea of like marking them is bad.
Yeah.
Well, I guess because you sort of have to go to the slippery slope part of it.
Yep. Yeah. If you have AIDS, don't spread it. There you go.
Thanks, Dad.
You fucker.
What? What?
She just pinched my nipples.
She waited for it. And then she struck.
And I blame you because I was paying attention to your serious question while she's standing by you.
Yes, well, she and I co-conspired together because she messaged me on Twitter and told me to distract you.
Fuck everything. I'm not playing anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyhow.
Well then.
Now that Monkey has had his temper tantrum.
Wah.
Somebody said that the blowjob robot is $1,500.
That's well, I mean, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than about 4 prostitutes combined, you know.
Or a wife. Hey.
Or a wife, it's true. Yeah, the wedding ceremony alone is not nearly worth that much.
Why do people spend so much on weddings now?
Because it's
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like
It's
I went
retarded.
to a wedding one time where, I mean, they never said, of course, how much it costs, but through the grapevine, I heard that it was in the neighborhood of like $50,000 all
Yeah,
told.
that's how much my cousin's was.
Yeah, for the the honeymoon part of it, of course, and then there was the ceremony. But I heard that the bulk of it was in the ceremony and all the glitz and glamour of everything else. And I'm sitting there, and I don't go to weddings that often, but when I do, I'm like, you know, why don't you just do a $5,000 wedding and take the other $45,000 and give it to the couple as starting off money? But of course, if
Yeah.
you can afford to do a $50,000 wedding, you're probably not hurting for extra cash to begin with. So whatever.
Well, one of my favorite things to read on GoFundMe is people asking for money for their weddings.
Yeah.
Most of them are pretty cheap. I mean, you know, $600-$700, which, okay, no big
Yeah.
deal. But you see
Sure.
some on there for like $20,000 and like, really?
Yeah, I know.
I don't think so. Good luck. Yeah. That's a lot of money to spend on a party.
Right. A one-time deal, a one-time event, especially like you're going to buy a wedding dress, which is going to be worn presumably once.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hopefully.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, let's hope so. And just, yeah, everything to it. It's like, okay, don't get me wrong. I understand, being a hopeless romantic myself, I can understand the allure of having a really memorable, epic wedding and all the pomp and the circumstance and everything else. And yet my fiscal sensibilities do not mesh with that concept. Unless somebody
Yeah,
else
I mean, my best friend was gay, and he practically demanded that I had like $100,000 wedding. He was like, "If you
Oh
don't,
my.
I'll kill you." And now he's dead, so I gotta.
No. Spend a couple thousand, take the other 98 and do something much more productive with it. Yeah, don't have $100,000 party. Somebody in the chat said that I should get Mrs. Monkey back and pinch her nipples.
Yeah.
I'd rather live.
Do that on the stream. You get lots of money.
No,
Or put a bounty on it. Put a bounty on it.
I'll be dead.
Well, not if you like make $100 per nipple or something.
No. See, you're missing the double standard in my marriage.
See, so you try to whore me out, but
Well, you said no. I haven't heard. Never mind.
what?
Well, no means no. You already said, like, okay, if you spank yourself on the stream, you get money. You're like, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay, well, I'm not going to pressure you if you say no. But unless you wait, you want us to, don't you?
No. That's
You
not what I said. No,
you
that's
want
not
us to
what I
bug you
said.
about it. You want us to tease you about it. You want us to bring us
No,
up, bring it
that's
up.
not what I
behind it.
said.
Yeah.
It's not.
You're right. It wasn't what you said, but it is why you asked.
No, I'm just saying there's a clear double standard where he's like, I'm not going to bug her about being a whore, but no, you can
See,
shame me for not being a whore.
No. See, you're missing the point. It's not about if she was into it and didn't mind nipple pinching and I wouldn't get in trouble for it. Yeah, I'd put that up here in a heartbeat. But she would kill me in my sleep. You don't have the ability to kill me in my sleep.
Oh, see, I told you there was a double standard.
It's not a double standard. There's a different standard for each of you because you're different.
So that's a double standard.
Yeah, there's a Mrs. Monkey just said that because somebody earlier said yes means yes, and Lady Monkey just said sometimes no means you better do it, and that is a true fact, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And if you misread that one, you will pay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
It's a true story.
Shut up, Scribe.
Sometimes she's a really good actor.
Bitter Red says, "Don't stop" means don't stop.
Yes, no, don't stop means yeah, babe, I just came. Because don't say that to a dude. You will fuck everything up.
I didn't add the punctuation. Don't stop means don't stop. That's what I should have. That's how I should have articulated it.
Yeah. Don't say that to your man. That's asking for trouble.
Believing.
Yeah, you can sing that. That won't break anything up.
That won't ruin anything, I swear.
And then the scene goes black because Tony Soprano got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can't say no if she's unconscious. That's true.
The safe word is scribe. Yeah. Okay.
What is going on with this stream tonight?
Is that because it ruins the mood?
Oh. Shot fired.
Shot through the heart. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, SD. That was a good one.
Yeah, that
fair.
was good.
That was fair. That was fair.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Unconsciousness is just passive consent.
Oh, damn it.
Oh man. Oh, this is like the illegal stream now.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And there goes my monetization. That's okay.
Pretty much. That's
We've been
I think
talking
that-
about pinching nipples the whole time. I think your monetization was gone a while ago.
I'm a
Yeah.
lesbian. I can talk about that.
Oh, that's right. Let's see. So what else should we let's see. We talked about I should talk about my video.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Let's
Talk about your video.
Talk about my video.
Oh.
Well, you want so I've got the one out that I posted this morning, and I have one that I've got ready to post. I just need to upload it.
Let's do the one you've got out. We can save the other one for tomorrow.
Yeah, the one I put out today. So last couple of days, thankfully, I've had stuff to do content wise with the AMA and doing the streaming and everything. But the last couple of days, I have been really scraping to try to find something that caught my brain enough that I wanted to do a video on. It was just kind of like I've written 3 different scripts for 3 different videos, but halfway through each of them, I just thought I don't care. I mean, it's something that I would have something to say, but I don't have anything passionate to say about it. I don't have anything that sort of like gets my motor going. So then last night, Fusion came through, as it tends to from time to time.
BuzzFeed's retarded little brother.
BuzzFeed's retarded little brother. In fact, they actually in this video cite BuzzFeed as one of their sources.
Of course they do.
So it's another.
Nobody should ever cite BuzzFeed for that.
Yeah, well, except for maybe like a moving violation. So the video is one of a familiar pattern now of little profiles of individuals who have been deported
Yeah.
about the whole immigration thing. And this, I've done 2 other videos. Like the first one I did on this subject was about an individual who was deported. The second one was more about the police locally and how they deal with the issue of ICE coming in to enforce immigration laws. This one is similar to the first in the sense that it again profiles a parent who was deported and left behind children who were born in America, and talking about the way in which it was performed and everything else, and kind of citing it as an injustice. In this case, it was a woman who had arrived here illegally in 2002. She she lived here until she. Oh, thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter. Just
in case they demonetize
the stream.
That'll do it. And then she was in a raid on the place where she was working in 2007 by ICE. She was caught and, well, documented for the first time. So she lived here 5 years before ICE came across her. And then between 2007 and just last month, or earlier this month, I should say, she lived in this country trying to get asylum status and appealing the asylum application being rejected. And several appeals took place between 2007 and when she finally got the formal deportation order warrant against her. Now, the video would have you think that the Trump administration swooped in from on high and just deported her, like right out from underneath it. And it even says in the video that she was unexpectedly arrested and deported.
What? But you are an...
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
All right.
They even have in the middle of the video, they have her pastor say, and I'm paraphrasing, the administration said that they're only going to deport the dangerous criminals. How can anyone tell me that this woman is a dangerous criminal? And I say in the video, you're correct. The Trump administration did say that. But tell me, Father, and I'm paraphrasing myself, was it Trump that issued the deportation warrant? Because if you look up this woman's case, the courts finalized their decision on rejecting her final appeal and issuing the deportation order in 2014. The Obama administration and ICE, under Obama's instruction, essentially, did not act on the warrant between 2014 and the end of Obama's presidency because Obama was just sitting on it. It's not that the courts hadn't decided that she was to be deported, it's that he decided not to enforce the court order, which I guess was his prerogative. Once Trump came into the picture, so what happened was she was put on, and she had been for some time. She had a monitoring device on her, and she had to check in like regularly, like every 3 months or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
isn't that more expensive than just deporting them?
You might think, but anyway. So once Trump took over at the beginning of the year, she went in for her regular check-in with ICE. She was told, the warrant will be enforced. Prepare to be deported. When she went back for her second check-in at the beginning of April, she was told, the warrant will be enforced. Prepare to be deported. 2 days later, she was arrested and deportation proceedings occurred. The Fusion video doesn't talk about any of that. Doesn't mention when the deportation order was.
How did you find that about?
I looked up her name, and her case has been profiled in a couple of the news sources, especially the BBC, that actually went through and like, this is the chronological chain of events of this particular case. They did a whole article covering individual cases of deportation under Trump thus far, and hers was one of the ones profiled. And the Fusion video just whitewashes all over the facts of the situation and makes it sound like this innocent woman who had never done anything wrong, except for being here illegally. She's taken away from her 4 children, one of whom has seizures, they made sure to point out, and ripped away from her family unexpectedly, and Trump is a evil blah, blah, blah. And so at the end of the video, I take a portion of a previous video that Fusion had posted. I did a video several months ago now, where Fusion was proclaiming that they were no longer going to use the words blacks and whites because it stigmatized people and diminished them to their race and all this other stuff. And they're being very sort of self-righteous about their ethical journalistic standards that they were promoting. And one of the things they said in there is that it's our job to report the facts and put facts above fantasy or political motivation or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I replayed that little bit, and this was their chief editor on camera saying this.
That
so I
dude's
put
creepy looking.
What dude?
The chief editor of Fusion.
The chief editor of Fusion is a woman.
Oh, no, you.
Well, I mean, I guess they're co-editors. So yeah, one of them is kind of creepy looking. But anyway, so I put that clip up, and then I say, Fusion, you're just propagandists now. I mean, not that it wasn't obvious before, but this particular story, since it was so blatantly deceptive about what the actual facts of the situation were, and I just kind of end the video like that. And it's not as if I had a whole lot of respect for Fusion or something over the course of time, anyway. But for whatever reason, this one in particular, just how easily they just sort of jumped over pertinent facts in the situation, just to make their case seem like it was far more cruel and unusual, and it was all Trump's fault, and all these. It just bugged the hell out of me.
Well, it's become the standard that anybody that's deported, it's Trump's fault. First of all, he's enforcing the law. I have no trouble with it being Trump's fault, but in most of these cases, this is shit that was handed down from the Obama administration.
It's not any of the administration's fault. It's your fault for being here illegally.
Well, yeah, but yes.
I mean, he's just enforcing, like you said, what hasn't been enforced over the past 8 years. And even saying that, Obama deported a hell of a lot of people.
Yes, he did. And
so it's not as though he was slacking on kicking the Mexicans out either.
And the thing that
we need to talk about the whole Obama got rid of or kicked out more illegals than anyone else, because that is not entirely true.
Mm-hmm.
That comes because they started counting people turned back at the border as being deported.
Right, which is not the same thing.
Yeah, it's sort of like the 1 in 5 rape statistic. It's a little inflated.
Yeah, it is. And, he did deport people. He didn't, but like you said, because they included that, it seems like he deported huge numbers of people. It just didn't record. Oh my God. That's not what happened. As you can see with how many things are now being enforced since Obama has been out of office. Even though he was deporting a number of people, he was a little bit of a slacker.
Well, the thing that I always amazes me is that, like especially in these profiles of these particular individuals, they always make a point of showing that they have children who were born here and are citizens, etc. And I'm just like, the same. Hold on.
Sorry.
About to say the same law of the land, so to speak, that allowed your children to become citizens that way is the same law of the land that you broke when you got here. Mm-hmm. So which of these laws should we ignore being, enforced? I don't, you tell me, which one of these should we ignore? You choose one.
That's a really good point I've never thought of. I'm going to have to use that.
Yeah. The other thing too is that, what is the first and primary part of the oath that any president takes when they put their hand on that Bible? They're to protect, defend the Constitution. Mm-hmm. And Trump is doing his job. Whether you like how he does his job or not, insofar as he is staying within the bounds of the Constitution, and of course there's lots of arguments about executive orders and everything else, but you can blame Bush and Obama for making that happen more so than anything else. But when it comes down to it, immigration law is not something new. Deporting people who come here illegally is not a new concept, either here or in any other sovereign nation. So when you have an administration who took an oath to defend the Constitution, and you have a warrant against you saying that you are here illegally and need to leave, why are you surprised? I'm more surprised that Obama didn't send her away, because that is, effectively in violation of his oath. Just like the chief of police of Santa Cruz saying, we're not going to enforce this law and everything. I'm like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You should resign. if you're not going to fulfill the duties of your office as you have pledged your oath to do so, why are you in this job? Why don't you become an activist on the plight of illegal immigrants? That seems to be what you should be doing rather than trying to be the police chief. So anyway, I could go on.
Well, no, I had this problem with the whole Obama administration with their immigration policy to begin with, because their whole thing is, well, we're going to only, it's one thing to go after violent criminals first, and it's an entirely different thing to only go after violent criminals.
Yeah.
Because like in an ICE raid where the one in, what was it, Santa Cruz, which
Santa Cruz,
the one you
yeah.
did, yeah, Santa
Yeah,
Cruz.
sorry.
They went in looking for they had certain people that they were going after, gang members.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, you get these violent gang members, but you also happen to find a bunch of other illegals. They're still illegal. You're not targeting them specifically, but you found them, kick them the fuck out.
So, like, if a bad person does the same crime as a generally good person, it doesn't mean that they haven't done the same crime.
Yeah.
Haven't committed the same crime. I mean, like, if a murderer speeds and you speed, you shouldn't be treated any differently regarding the speeding violation.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Well, it's the same. If this was an interaction in Better Call Saul, I think I brought it up a while back. But there's this one scene where Mike, the cleaner, is acting as a bodyguard for a exceedingly naive first-time drug dealer, and after he makes his first deal, the guy's like, "Well, that was really easy," and Mike's like, "Well, now you're a criminal," and he's like, "But I'm a good person." And he says, "Well, you might be a good person. You're still a criminal." Yeah, I mean, you can do nothing else in your life that is of a violating of the law, but if you are here illegally, every moment you are here, you are in violation of the law. It's an ongoing crime that you not being, and this is the other thing that always bugs me. It's like not being caught is not the same as time served. Being on a monitor and being registered as having to check in this instance, is not like probation that excuses your culpability of committing the crime. It's just to keep track of you so that we don't have to find you again because you're still committing a crime. Like I said, you can commit murder 50 years ago and you're still going to be liable for it if they catch you. Why do you think they still grab guys who were Nazis 60 years ago or something? I mean, I'm not saying that crossing the border illegally is the same as murder or being a Nazi or something. I'm just saying that.
Nazis.
Yeah. I'm just saying that you commit
limitations on murder. Right?
Yeah. There's no statute of limitation on being here illegally because every second is just a.
You're continuously committing the crime.
Exactly. It's a perpetual crime up until you are either processed and deported, or if you are under such circumstances that you can prove it, you gain asylum. That's it.
Yeah. And like I said, you could, just because a murderer speeds and you speed, that doesn't mean that you're both not speeding.
Right.
Like, even if you're completely different people, if you're both in violation of the law in a certain instance, you shouldn't be treated any differently.
Pretty much.
Okay, we're going to get into this because DaddyofFive has been brought up in our chat.
Oh, no. Why?
What's the new? I saw that there were new updates, but I haven't had a chance to look at it.
They have hired a PR firm.
Oh, that's right. I did read about that.
They specialize in cases like theirs. So these are the lowest form of PR. And if you watch their latest, they took down their first apology video, the one where the fat cunt is crying or yawning instead of, showing any remorse. She yawns at the beginning of that fucking apology, and he's looking down the whole time, and he blames Phil DeFranco for their problems. DeFranco actually came to that a little bit late to the party. He might have been the one that helped make it blow up so big because of his audience size.
The first time I saw it was Repsion.
The first one I know who did it was Suit Yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, Suit was all over that.
He still is. Suit does not like people fucking with kids at all.
Mm-mm.
He went through and downloaded their entire archive before they deleted it.
Did he really? I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
He did, and it's been the police are involved, and they're having a little bit of trouble figuring out if they have jurisdiction because they don't know where the videos were shot and they can't get to half of the videos.
Right. Well, on the bright side, the internet
But
never forgets.
yep, suit has them all. So that has been linked to the police, and apparently the police have responded, so they have seen at least the link to all the videos.
Because
But
Sue
in their newest
downloaded every
apology,
single one of them.
yes,
That suit has the
in
whole
their newest-
archive.
Yep, every one of them,
Internet never
including
forgets.
the one with the slapping of the little girl, which is probably the most horrific of the ones I've seen.
Did you see that one? I forget if I mentioned there was that somebody pointed out that in the scene where the girl's getting slapped, it sounds like an inserted line was put in there by Daddy, and that was
Yeah,
just not too hard or something like that. And if you listen to the clip, you can hear the background audio drop as that line is said, which means it was probably put in there artificially.
yeah. If I recall correctly, there's 2 versions of that video: the original,
Okay.
and then don't quote me on that, but I'm almost positive there's 2 versions. Excuse me, but if you haven't seen their newest apology, it is so bad, so bad.
What's
He's sitting
different
with-
about it?
He's dressed up in a very nice shirt and a sweater vest.
Oh, I've
And
seen this, I
she's-
think.
She's dyed her hair blonde, and she's got
Oh,
on her
right,
Tammy
right.
Faye Baker makeup.
Yeah.
And the video, for some reason, it almost looks like a clip show rather than a video. It's not even a jump
Is
cuts.
this the
It's
one that
just-
Phil was saying is edited really weird, where he was like,
Yes.
if you think those
Because
weird edits and dips are us, it's not. This is the video.
Yeah, because what happens is they'll be talking, and then the audio just cuts out and it slowly fades away, but you can still see her talking.
Right, yeah.
He doesn't-
I have seen
He
that.
doesn't talk very much in it because he's, again, looking at the floor,
Yeah.
because he's the little kid who got caught being bad.
Yeah. Again, the PR firm's like, look like you're upset. Look
Yeah.
like you're guilty. I'm sorry.
And this
Yeah,
is
and
the
then I
second
think
video
Phil
that
pointed
proves
out-
that these two can't
Right.
act, that none of that shit was fake.
Yeah. No shit.
And I think Phil also points out that in that video, they're like, well, we're in counseling now. And it's
Now.
like, weren't you already
Yeah.
supposed to be in counseling, you lying sack of shit?
They told Keem that they'd already had Cody in counseling, and then in their first apology video, they said they were in counseling, and then their second video, they said they're in counseling now. So yeah, they lied somewhere. But there is
Well,
a
and
lot
that's
of
just it. So something that I want to ask you guys
sure.
with this thing, because because Phil asked this of his audience, and I want to know what you guys think. So now that they've made this apology that's a little bit more polished, and they seem really sorry, and they're in counseling and fix everything, does them having a more polished apology and being dressed up in a sweater vest change anything for you? Because it changes absolutely nothing for me.
Well, anybody who hasn't followed this, and if that's their first exposure to it and they know nothing else about it, then maybe that's their first impression. But anybody paying attention to this, and especially anybody that just does a quick Google search, because the video, every time they put out a video, whether it's the one they want people to see or not, it's out there. People are paying attention now, and they're downloading and mirroring that shit all over the place. They can't.
Mhm.
This is what I don't understand when people fuck up like this, whether it's a politician or somebody like this. If you put something out on video, it is there forever, especially if you've become the super du jour of people's attention or ire for the day. So that
Right.
they put out 3 different apology videos just shows that they don't know what they're talking about, and they don't have a consistent message, and they can't be
Okay.
trusted.
Yeah, so because for me, some people were like, this changes it for me. I really feel like they're genuinely sorry and they genuinely want to fix it. And I just,
genuinely coached.
I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. You don't beat up your kid that many times and torture him to that extent, and then all of a sudden, because some people are upset, you're sorry. I don't believe you. If you were really sorry, it wouldn't have happened in the first place.
Yeah, well, whatever
I
they're...
am-
Sorry, go ahead.
I am so torn on this, and hear me out. Going into the system is bad, or can be bad. It gets a lot
Yeah.
worse rep than it actually is, because there are a lot of people who go through the system and actually come out fine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're talking about, at the very least, probably splitting these kids up.
Right.
In my ideal world, these people would get counseling, and this would be a wake-up call to them that, hey, this is horrible behavior. We shouldn't do it. Because if you watch it, most of what happens is not physical abuse. It's mental abuse.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to downplay any of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see, yes, we were caught up, not necessarily in the moment, but caught up in what they were doing and how it was, making them all this money and getting them this fame.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe counseling could help with that. However, there are parts of that where it is quite clearly abuse, and I can't stand that. And I'm to the point where if there wasn't any physical abuse in that, I could go, okay, maybe counseling will work for these people. But because of the actual physical abuse in there, these kids need to be removed from that home.
I think so. I can kind of see where you're coming from. I know in my real life and otherwise, I know of stories where let's just for the sake of analogy say that the videos and the attention and all the whatever is in the same realm as alcoholism, an addiction. Okay. I've known people who have had families that were alcoholics, or at least one major family member was, and they were separated from their family for a time unless or until they could get counseling, show they've cleaned up, and then things were reunited.
Mm-hmm.
If it is possible, because like you say, it's mostly verbal abuse. If Daddy-O and whatever her name was, if they were just so zonked out on the idea that they could make money just being assholes, if this is some kind of wake-up call, if they do go to counseling and they do show a pattern of improvement, if they do have reconcile with the fact that they were doing horrible things to these kids, and after that show that they can have a stable household and start doing supervised visitation and then slowly move things back in, that would be the best outcome.
Yes.
Because ultimately, as bad as it sounds, just like an alcoholic, at the core, I don't want, well, and then this is maybe just my idealism talking, but I don't want to believe that this guy and his wife are actually bad people at their very core. I don't want to believe that. I want to believe that they have some very shitty tendencies that were fed and supported by fans and money and attention and people feeding into that and helping them and building them up to think that that was something positive. I mean, they are children. They're like childlike minds and rationale on this.
Well, I'm not excusing what they did.
No, not at all. I mean, even like I wouldn't excuse an alcoholic beating his kid, but
Sure.
if you understand that it's an illness and it can be treated.
But what I was going to get to is, in their mind, I have no doubt that they did not see this as abuse.
Right.
They don't have I mean, it's not, to them it was all jokes, to the parents, and yes, that doesn't excuse it. It's just a prank, bro. Doesn't make it just a prank.
No.
But to them it was. And they were absolutely wrong with that. And I'm with you. In the ideal situation, they get help and these kids can grow up in the home of their dad and mom.
Yeah. They still need to be held liable for the crimes they've committed. If there is if there is evidence, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's like, well, I'm an alcoholic, I'm sick. If you hit your kid, that's assault. You go to jail for assault, you get prosecuted.
Yes.
If there is evidence on these videos that can would tend to support a criminal charges against him and or his wife or both or whatever, then those need to be followed through, regardless of what their true intentions were, how good they are. Like we were just talking about before, maybe you're a good person, you're still a criminal. Maybe you didn't mean to, but you abused those kids. You had kids who were bloody. You made your children hit each other. I mean, you want to talk about like masterminding a crime, I mean, it's the same thing like, well, I arranged for an assassination. Well, you just arranged for one kid to assault another. That's child abuse by proxy. That's not something you get to walk away from. No, they both need to face the piper, the law and otherwise. And if that separates them from their children as a matter of course, well, hey, them's the breaks. And if by any chance afterwards, they can get some help or prove to the satisfaction of the authorities that they can offer a stable home again, after counseling or whatever else. Hey, but first and foremost, they got to pay for their crimes, regardless of what else happens first.
I mean, I know that the system isn't great, but at the same time, it's also there, to help kids that are in a situation that is abusive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
We had foster
sometimes
kids
it's
in my house,
easier.
and they got away from horrible stuff that makes this look tame.
Yeah.
And I'm glad my parents were there for them, because I grew up in a very stable, happy home.
Sure.
But T Thunder Lizard said, your perspective is the scariest, though, ranting monkey. They genuinely don't have the capacity to understand what they were doing is wrong. And I don't believe that. I really don't. I believe they have the capacity to understand it's wrong. I don't think they've gotten there yet.
No.
And like Scribe said, in my own opinion, what is on those tapes, there is physical abuse, and they need to pay for that. That's why I can't just say, I hope they don't get taken from the home and they just get counseling, because something needs to happen for that. But again, I'm talking ideally here. The best thing that would happen would be for them to pay for that, get counseling to where they understand it, and be part of these children's lives, because having your parents is a part of it. And this isn't a thing with like, they're just openly abusive. There's nothing to suggest they were like this beforehand. They thought it was jokes. They're stupid. They're fucking morons for that.
Yeah.
They thought it was just jokes. It's like a friend who takes a joke too far, except for they were doing it with kids. That's why in my one video, I said, this isn't your college buddy. I mean, if you watch some of the prank videos that are out there, like I watched one the other day, it was horrible. This dude put something slippery, I forget what it was, at the top of a set of stairs. And when his friend walks down them, he falls down the fucking stairs.
He could break his goddamn neck.
Yeah. But hey, just a prank, bro.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody did that to their kid, we'd all be fucking outraged. But in this, everybody's laughing at it.
Well, in this, so the short version is that they need to pay for whatever crimes that they are guilty of. Those kids need to be taken and separated from them for whatever time it takes for them to go through those legal proceedings and for their own safety and well-being. And then it is up to the parents. It's up to daddy-o and wife to earn the privilege of being those kids' parents again.
Yes.
If they are not serious about this, then they do not get to have those kids. I mean, again, this is my ideal world thing as far as laws are concerned and child custody and everything else, God knows. But as far as I'm concerned, they lost the privilege of being those kids' parents as soon as they decided to profit off of their abuse. As soon as they cross that line from going viral and then intentionally setting. I mean, I could see something kooky happening at the house. They film it and then it goes viral, and everything before that was just sort of like this was a one-time deal. As soon as they decided to make it a business, that is where they lost any credibility on saying it was just a prank, bro, or any of that bullshit, because you're doing it for profit. And now you are no longer parents. You are effectively agents for these kids, but you're abusive and you assaulted them. So yeah, anyway.
Real quick, I'm getting a little bit of a titty echo.
Yeah, it's all SDA's fault. It's her breasts again.
Breasts. Why are you being all formal?
Did that fix it?
Why am I being all formal? Because, honestly, using the formal language in describing things is first and foremost, it's much more professional. And secondly, if you use it right, it can be far more stimulating when someone's trying to imagine what you're saying using words. And I'm talking to the chat right now because I think you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I just got really uncomfortable.
Are you squirming? Are you squirming a little bit?
Why should I be?
This I knew this was going to come up talking about DaddyofFive. We now have not only the birth mother, but the birth father of the other 3 children.
Oh, how many people are involved in this little? I had no idea. Holy cow! I thought he just remarried.
It's either the other 3 children or 2 of the 3 children. I forget, but the older children are not his, apparently.
They
belong to a firefighter somewhere. Yes, and he's now involved in trying to get his kids back. And here's what I'm going to say about going to the other parents. I don't know enough about them to say, yes, put the children there. I do know that it is incredibly difficult for a woman to lose custody of her children, and it is incredibly rare for a man to get full custody.
Yes.
That does not
The other-
mean
Sorry.
doesn't mean she did something wrong. And I know there's some conspiracies out there that there was some shifty shit going on with judges. I don't know anything about that, and I'm not
Yeah.
speaking to that. I do know it's really, really rare for a woman to lose
The
full
other
or to
thing
lose custody.
is that if these two goons found each other, the likelihood that they bred with other goons is incredibly high.
Good point. That's a good point.
Sorry.
But on the
I
other hand, at least the guy got away from her, so maybe
I know,
the
like
crazy
she's
snuck
crazy.
up on him.
I don't know why you would willingly put your thingy in that, but
Bless you. Yeah, don't stick your dick in crazy, guys.
yeah, don't do it.
So
Man, we
that's
went
all I
an
wanted to
hour
say
and a
about that.
half. Holy crap! Without
Wow.
being like,
Time
what
flies.
do we talk about?
Should we turn it over to chat now since we're in the last half hour?
I don't know. Have you been watching chat? There's a lot of trolls tonight.
No, the trolls can be entertaining too.
Yeah. Let's turn over the chat, guys. What do you want us to talk about, or any questions that you have?
I mean, we can turn just about anything into an entertaining 10 minutes, depending.
I agree.
Let's see. Magoon. Magoon is one of our most dedicated trolls.
What is that image that he uses?
It looks like a dinosaur on its back or something, or maybe a
See,
lizard.
'cause to me, it looks like a lamp, like a genie lamp.
Let's see. Kara says, "What is the weirdest thing you did in high school? I got handcuffed in Algebra 2 class by another story." I don't know what that means, but the weirdest thing I ever did in high school.
I don't know.
Probably took.
I mean, we know that you did weird things in college.
Oh yeah, and I did plenty of weird. I didn't do much. I didn't do anything weird in high school. I didn't really come out of my shell, so to speak, until I got to college. But in high school, the weirdest thing that I did,
The weirdest thing I did in high school was Mrs. Monkey.
Hey-oh!
Ooh, rude.
I took. I did take pottery class because a lot of cute girls took pottery class.
Oh,
That was like my only motivation to take pottery
How'd
class.
it go?
Well, I didn't. I didn't have
do anybody.
No, I didn't have a girlfriend in real life until I was maybe 22. I was the shy, low self-esteem, little nerdy kid for most. I mean, I still am in a lot of ways, but I was certainly so throughout high school. I didn't have the confidence, and I was basically shunned by any girl that I only approached a couple of girls over the course of high school, and I was shut down both times. And it wasn't anything like weird. I was just sort of like, "You want to go to the dance?" kind of thing, and they're just like, "Oh, I'm going with somebody else," like, okay.
Somebody pointed out I hadn't talked about my dick yet, so Monkey Dick is now part of the stream.
Well, but you talked about the blowjob machine.
I did, but I didn't specifically.
Yeah, but we
bring up my
didn't
dick.
specifically talk about droopy raisins, so.
Excuse me, that's droopy hairy raisins.
Big hairy raisins. Zeo Gold has put my name into the X Gon Give It To You lyrics. Scribe gonna give it to you.
Scribe gonna give it to you.
Gonna give it to you. Scribe Light, did you see Alt Height, the guy that punched Moldy Locks on some black guy's channel? No, I didn't. I did not see
Oh, is
that.
that who that guy is? I
Do
saw
you
him
not
with
watch
somebody
black
on there.
people on YouTube, Scribe?
Sure I do. Irate Bear and that guy T and
Just not that black guy.
who is this? It's some
Some
black
black
guy. I know him. Wasn't he on Mama's stream on occasion? I don't think I'm
sure.
I'm not subscribed to him. I have seen his videos, but I don't think I'm subbed to him.
I love him just because
Scribe
of his
is
name.
racist confirmed.
That's right.
He, one time on Twitter, he was trying to get somebody's attention. I can't remember who it was.
Mhm.
But he said, "Everybody tweet that he should have me on here." And I'm like, "Yes, everybody tweet. You should have some black guy on your show."
Just any that comes across, you find one on the street, just give it to him. Yeah.
SDR, are you actually going to do a Steve Shives free speech video?
Yes,
She said yes. Put Lady Monkey.
I will
on
do
there.
it.
Oh boy.
She's allowed. She's allowed to be on the air anytime she wants.
Maybe Friday.
She said maybe Friday.
Oh yeah, she should take my chair
Oh
for
yeah,
Friday.
no, Bay is gonna be here on Friday.
Oh, Bay's gonna
Oh,
be
we can
okay.
we'll have a women's stream on Friday.
Oh yeah, that's right, guys. I'm probably not going to be available Friday evening due to family activities. So
I'm just brokenhearted.
and
Oh.
apparently when SDA's happy, she goes southern. I'll remember that.
I just said I was brokenhearted.
Yeah, you said it in kind of a tone that was a bit celebratory.
Oh.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Nancy
Yeah.
Monkey, seen the story about Alabama passing a law allowing state-funded faith-based adoption groups can refuse gay couples or other households because of their religious beliefs. I haven't.
I
How
wouldn't
do
be
you guys
surprised by it.
feel about that? Like, do you think that if it's a faith-based adoption group and they're like, we don't want to sell the babies to fags, that they should be able to do it that way?
If you're taking state-funded things, you have to abide by
Oh, right.
state
If it's
rules.
state-funded, then yeah, never mind.
If it was private, I mean, it's private, but state-funded, no, that's not going to
I
be held
missed
up
the
anywhere.
state-funded part. I disagree with myself now.
Such a woman thing
What?
to disagree with yourself.
No, it is not.
How would I spend $1 billion? Invest most of it and do like smart rich people do and just get richer.
Yeah. Yeah, I put most of it into annuities. Probably give a bunch of it to charity.
Oh yeah.
And I would do one thing. There is one thing that John Oliver did at one point that I have absolutely no problem with, and then some people have done this too. They've bought debt and then just excused it.
Yep.
And you can buy it for cheap. I mean, you can buy it for less than the debt is actually worth, and just like write it off the books.
Yep.
So I think it was he spent, and I'm the ballpark numbers here. He spent like $46,000 or something to buy $250,000 worth of debt, and they just forgave it.
Yeah, that's not usually why people do that, though.
No, but I mean, if I had a
They
whole bunch
usually,
of but I mean, if I had
usually do it to buy the debt and then go
try
bother
to
the people.
yeah, and then try to collect on it, right? But I mean, if it were a whole bunch of medical debt, I'd probably focus specifically on that, because people who are sick, that it's like I hate the idea that people could go bankrupt or go into debt over something they have no control over. So if I had $1 billion and I don't need $1 billion, I might do something like that just to sort of spread the wealth, so to speak. I do it anonymously. I wouldn't make it like a big deal.
If you could only give to one charity, what charity would it be?
The Leukemia Lymphoma Society.
Okay, what was your Scribe?
The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
That would be mine as well. So I lost my mom to leukemia, so that would be where I would go.
I have a story about. I won't tell that story.
Okay. Magoon just said they clearly don't care about living that much. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, it's Magoons. Who knows?
Oh God, if they can't afford treatment, they don't deserve it.
Oh, great.
Jesus.
Scribe Light, if you could hang out with any person, who would you pick, excluding Monkey and SDA? Would any hang out with any person?
It would be me.
Any person I would want to hang out with. No. I'd want to hang out with Sean Connery. I bet he has some badass stories. Just sit down and like drink scotch with Sean Connery for like an hour on friendly terms and everything. That'd be awesome.
I want to hang out with Bay.
Foxy wants me to say something. I don't know what it is I'm supposed to say. Say what?
I would want to hang out with Obama for a day.
Really? What would you ask him?
I don't know how much I would ask him, as much as I would just encourage him to talk, because I would like to hear how he thinks when he's not in political mode.
You didn't say Lady Monkey. She's crushed.
I'm already hanging out with you. Oh my God.
I'm crushed too.
Who would you hang out with, SDA?
You.
I said I'd hang out with Bay.
Oh, okay.
Lady Monkey, I thought she was saying that about my answer. She was saying that about yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Lady Monkey's upset that I wouldn't hang out with her.
It's pretty hot. We could, the three of us hang out.
I didn't think I was permitted to go anywhere near you.
Wait, just the three of you? Now I'm upset.
Well, if anybody here knows how to work a threesome.
Oh my God.
Let's see. Scotch is really, really intent on us talking about Jacqueline Glenn got a boob job. Well, congratulations for
Nobody
Jacqueline Glenn.
cares.
Who cares? What was it, Foxy? Say, okay, that's what you want me to say. I mean, well, how do you want me to say it? Because I'm just saying it is one thing, but I'm sure there must be some kind of intonation you're looking for, because I don't want to have to do this twice. So tell me that.
What does she want you to say? Oh,
I'm not going to say it first because I'm going to wait until they give me more information. I need more context for this.
I'm not looking at the chat.
No, you, Scribe, and Sean Connery. Yeah, that'd be awesome. And just like we're on TV and like Monkey has to watch us.
Oh, I get to come too. Yay.
Say it's sexy. Okay. Spank the monkey.
We don't spank the monkey. We don't.
It will cost you $200, but for $200,
Oh, that's right. That's
monkey.
right.
Well,
That is the bounty.
$200 for Mrs. Monkey to spank my butt. How did I meet SDA and Scribe? We haven't told this story in a little while. Scribe and I met on, I believe it was a Based Mama stream, and then we met again.
Probably. It was either Base Mom or Irate Bear. Yeah.
And my first time on both of those, I was very quiet. But there was one stream we got onto with Irate Bear where me and him just kind of took it over.
Mm-hmm. And we just went off.
I don't even remember what subject
Boy,
it was.
I can't imagine that happening ever.
Yeah, right?
Just completely took it over and had really good chemistry. And when the whole stream thing came up, it was just a pure matter of coincidence and timing that this took off. And SDA we found under a rock. I don't remember where.
Really?
Actually, I don't remember meeting you. I really don't.
I don't either, to be honest. I don't remember how it happened. I know that one of the first streams that we did together, Amanda and Bay were in that stream. And we were talking about sucking dick.
That'll do it.
And
that is definitely a way
then,
to get my attention.
and then at some point you were like,
we had an
do you want
off-air
to stream?
discussion.
What?
You and I had some DM discussion.
We did. We had been chatting about things for a while before we ever streamed together.
Oh, yes, I do.
You remember what? Yeah.
We won't bring that up in stream.
No.
Okay, then.
Scribe, I'll tell you about it later.
All right. Scribe Light, if you and Monkey had the chance to team up with a big YouTuber, i.e. nostalgia critic, is he a big YouTuber? Okay. PewDiePie, who would you want to team up with, and what kind of video would you like to do? Well, obviously team up with SDA.
Indeed.
Aww.
Yeah, because why would you leave SDA out of that equation, you jerk? Jessica. I'm kidding.
Smudge cookie.
Smudge cookie?
That's one that's gone bad. Don't eat that. So SDA was found under a rock. Yes, she was.
Oh, smudge cookie.
Is that why I don't know anything about pop culture?
Pretty much.
Hey, Scribe, that's not nice.
It's not a matter of nice, it's a matter of fact.
It's true.
You're mean today.
Scribe do shmoo impression? What is a shmoo?
I don't know.
I gotta look up what a shmoo is now. See if I know what it is.
Doodle.
Shmoo.
Lady Monkey.
I had another person ask me what a smush cookie was today.
Did you tell them it was a snoochie doodle?
I did, and they were like, "What's a snoochie doodle?" I was like, "It's a smush cookie."
Somebody asked Lady Monkey, "What's Monkey and yours favorite movie that you both like to watch or both like together?" There's a lot of them that we like. The Replacements is one. She mentioned that. A completely horrible movie called Graffiti Bridge. It was a Prince movie. It's actually a follow-up to Purple Rain.
Oh yeah,
it's a horrible movie. Don't watch it, but for other reasons, it's one of ours. And Boomerang.
Is it the first movie that you got a blowjob to?
Boomerang.
No.
Oh yeah, Eddie Murphy. One of the few Eddie Murphy movies that was actually pretty good at that time.
That was a pretty good movie. Yes, absolutely. And,
yeah, I think that was it. I think that was just before Vampire in Brooklyn.
Yes, it was after Harlem Nights, but yeah.
Speaking of vampire movies, as we did last night, yeah, Vampire in Brooklyn, stay away from it. Just stay away.
Yes, some icy hot for your balls. That is a line from Boomerang. If you haven't watched Boomerang, you should watch it. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's decent. It doesn't
Well, I
have.
haven't
Scribe, you should read that book I was telling you to read.
Oh, what book was that?
We'll talk about it later.
That's the second
For the
time now.
person who asks, no, I do not have a tattoo.
I have
Oh,
5 now.
boring monkey.
No, I just like myself. I'm pretty as is.
Oh, I
that's
don't-
not nice.
Yeah, I don't have mine on for aesthetic value. It's just for I have them placed in where regular clothing covers them up. They're not really for display.
Well, we've talked about this in another stream. I'm very weird about my body. I don't want it fucked with it anyway.
Yeah, we know that. Your butt
No.
touched, your nipples pierced. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, I like my body how it is, and I don't want it altered.
Slave of My Cat, what book was it? I don't know. SDA, what book is it we're talking about? It's up to her. It's up to her to name it out loud.
The Kama Sutra.
Ranting Monkey, what is the one thing you would want to eat when your life makes you sad? In other words, your go-to food. Same for Scribe Light and Lady Monkey. Boy, Jessica, you're really up on leaving SDA out of this conversation. I don't know what's wrong with you.
Well, she can answer that too, but she won't because she doesn't know what her comfort food is.
That's probably true.
Well, we know that's true. She told us that in the other stream.
That's right.
What?
Her comfort food is dick bacon.
Scribe is
when my
mean to
life
me.
makes me sad, I actually don't turn to food. I turn to music. I don't have a comfort food. I have comfort music. I like sad music when I'm in a bad mood. Or I like power ballads when I'm in a bad mood. I like meatloaf when I'm in a bad mood. So there you go. There's my food. But it's actually a dude who she doesn't want in her mouth.
The
But you
meatloaf
will,
incident.
but you'll gladly have it in yours. Okay. Anyway,
I have it in my ears.
comfort food. Gosh. Usually, if I'm trying to cheer myself up or celebrate something minor or whatever, I'll go out and buy salmon, and then marinate it, and then bake it, and then have salmon. I like salmon. So there you go.
There we go. What else do we have,
There you
guys?
We're
getting
winding
near the end
down.
here, so.
We're winding down here. I'm sure we missed some questions.
Yeah, so if we missed you and you're offended at us, ask again.
Yeah.
I think somebody asked me if I have tattoos.
Do you?
And yeah, I do. I have 3.
Do you have a tramp stamp?
Nope.
Where are your tattoos located? You don't have to tell them what they are, but just curious.
Why?
Well, I mean, are they located for display, or are they located just for
Oh,
that kind of
I
thing?
have. They're both on my ribs, and I have one on my wrist that's covered by my watch all the time.
Yeah, I have one each on the inside of my forearms. I have one each on the outside of my calves, and I have one sort of at the top of my back, just below where your shirt line would be. So yeah, everything is covered by regular clothing. And it's just I don't mind showing them off when it happens, but it's not something that I sort of broadcast.
Yeah, you can't see my tattoos unless I want you to.
Right, exactly.
The tattoos on your ribs is it the name of your boobs?
No, monkey, it's not.
You know, I hear that tattoos on ribs
Lady
are
Monkey
really
said it's
painful.
left.
Were they
I have
painful
a
because the
really high pain tolerance. So
oh,
they didn't hurt me. They actually kind of felt good.
Lady Monkey says that it says left and right.
Yeah, that's she caught me.
Yeah, Jesse and James.
My favorite condiment, ranch dressing. I'll eat that on pretty much
Oh, I
anything.
love ranch
Including
dressing.
pizza.
God, favorite condiment.
Wait, monkey, did you say that you like ranch dressing with pizza?
I do.
Are you one of those? I've actually never tried it. Is it good? I mean, obviously you think so.
It is good.
So.
I will also eat sour cream on pizza.
Have we ever read Out of the Dark by David Weber? I don't know that book. I'll have to look it up. Scribe Light, if you were the doctor on Doctor Who would you want Some Dumb American as your love in? Oh, Doctor Who, would you want Some Dumb American as your love interest while Ranting Monkey and Lady Monkey served as the Time Lords who give you mortality? I could see Monkey, if I was Doctor Who I could see Monkey and Lady Monkey as the companions and SDA as the master. How do you like that for a little bit of Doctor Who nerdery? If you guys know what
I
I'm
have no
talking about
idea
in the chat,
that.
yeah, it's fine. I mean, that's exactly why I said it. SDA doesn't know who the master is, but trust me, if you were the master, you would be happy because the master's
Why?
like Doctor Who's arch nemesis and like the cool bad guy.
We had another
Why would
guess
I
at
be
what
happy about
SDA's
that?
rib tattoos say. Thug in life.
What?
Thug life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. I'm street.
She's street.
Oh, so
I'm
street.
street.
She's made of asphalt. She's so street.
Okay. If you could have 3 abilities that exist in nature, animals, sea animals, plant, what would they be?
Ooh,
That is
I want to fly.
okay.
You know how like mountain goats can just like walk up rocks?
Oh yeah.
I want to do that. I don't know. What else do animals do?
3 abilities. Well, I know one would be I would want to have the environmental resilience of a tardigrade.
The tardigrade.
A tardigrade's a water
Oh,
bear.
I know what they are.
Yeah, they survive in just about anything. Like they found them in like boiling hot underwater
They
stuff.
Posted them to the vacuum of space.
Yeah, the vacuum of space and all that. Yeah, so I want the physical and environmental resilience of a tardigrade. That'd be definitely one ability I'd want.
Yeah, I like that one. I'm stealing that for my third one.
Oh, fine. Can't think of your own.
So you want a flying goat? Oh god.
Peter asked a question.
Yeah, I want to be a flying, resilient goat.
The flying goat.
Mrs. Monkey has informed me Peter asked a question.
Oh, Peter, what'd you say?
Peter,
Peter.
have any of you guys been to Florence? No, but I hear she's nice.
I was going to say something similar.
Sure, you would.
I've been to Florence Henderson, just like so many others. Scribe Light, what were your guys' favorite cartoon growing up? Well, the one that I always revere over just about anything else is probably Batman the Animated Series. And then after that, or before that, probably DuckTales. I mean, DuckTales is just consistently good as what it was. I know they've just rebooted it with David Tennant as Doctor, as Scrooge McDuck, but I'm wary of trying to recreate that kind of magic, especially Alan Young doing the voice of Scrooge. Just I don't think you can replace that.
Rescue Rangers.
Oh yeah, that's good too.
I liked Jimmy Neutron. It was probably like the one cartoon that I would never turn off if it came on.
Oh, also Ren and Stimpy, but only the first 2 seasons. After that,
Yeah, I had an answer about my childhood.
Oh my god, you remembered something.
If you had to choose different screen names, what would they be?
No.
Actually, one of the first screen names I thought I would use way back when I was just, and this is like a year ago before I'd even actually considered doing it. Mr. Medicare or Internet Aristocrat. He was famous for mispronouncing. Thank you, John Anders.
Thank you, John.
A flying resilient goat. He in several videos he said hyperbole, and he meant to say hyperbole, but apparently even though he had never heard how to pronounce the word correctly, and so he would say hyperbole just in the course of doing a video, and finally somebody pointed it out to him. He's like, oh. And so I always thought I'd make my avatar like a bowl going through like hyperspace, and I just call myself Hyperbole.
Hyperbole.
that was my first idea, but I quickly abandoned that. But if one of you guys out there wants to use that, hey, by all means.
Somebody said if this was Star Trek: The Next Generation, at Scribe Light would be Captain Pickard. So he said Picard. I'm glad you
Captain
understand.
Pickard. Mr. Pickard.
That's
Actually, that was a joke in the show. I forget what episode it was or what the storyline was, but someone was talking to him, and it was like some old lady, and she said, "No, Captain Pickard," and it was.
Okay, Ranting Monkey would be Commander something. I'm not going to pronounce anything anymore.
Riker.
Yeah. Lady Monkey would be Doctor. Is that say Crusher, or is it different because it's fucking
Nope, it's
Star Trek?
Crusher.
No, it's Crusher. Does Lady Monkey have red hair?
No.
And SDA would be, what's a Troy? Troy, is that how you say that? Or am I saying it wrong?
Deanna
No, you got
yeah.
the girls backwards.
Yeah.
You got the girls backwards. Troy
Why
has
are they
empathy.
backwards? Huh?
I said Troy has empathy.
Oh. Ooh, rude. I have empathy.
When have you ever had empathy?
I have empathy. I'm an incredibly empathetic person.
I don't think that word means what you think it means. Okay, we're gonna do this for the last one. Favorite founding father?
John Hancock, just because that's the funnest name to say. No,
I'm a
probably
fan of Jefferson.
probably it's a split between John Adams and Benjamin Franklin. Because Benjamin Franklin was like a Renaissance man. That guy was
Yes.
something else. I really like
He
Franklin.
was also a bit of a creep, which I think is hilarious.
Well, in some ways, compared to today, almost all of the founding fathers were creeps of some
Mhm.
or another. But yeah,
I like Thomas Jefferson just because every time he wrote a document, they all had to like edit it because he was a little too mouthy. So he's kind of my spirit animal.
which is also interesting because he made his own version of the Bible by cutting out all the bits he didn't like, and there's like a Jefferson version of the Bible that takes out a lot of the magisterium and such, which is interesting. He was a deist, not a theist, so he removed all the theism type stuff and just had like the Jefferson Bible.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like Thomas Jefferson. He's an interesting, inflammatory type of person.
The founding fathers all were. There's some great stories there for people who actually want to look, or wait until HBO makes a miniseries. But that is going to do it for tonight, guys.
Yep.
Chat, thanks for joining us. For you guys don't realize this, but every time I say that, I actually wave to the chat. I can't help it.
Bye, everybody.
I do, and
I'm waving
really
right now.
entertaining.
Can you hear it on the microphone? I'm waving right now.
so here we go.
No,
and
we
Lady
can't.
Monkey can confirm this. Chat, thank you for coming. Scribe SDA, pleasure as always. Your life makes me sad. I'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.